So if you're thinking of a 250cc motorcycle, this is a value for money. If you're thinking of a 150cc motorcycle, but the thing is, you know, as I said, I've been riding 250s for a very long time, and I cannot admit the fact that. What's up YouTube, welcome to the review of the Pulsar N250. So this is a brand new Pulsar from the Bajaj series, and here we have this motorcycle today, and I've been riding this motorcycle for around 200 kilometers by now, and probably completely clocking 300 kilometers for all these ride review and all. So let's make this as a practical review, because after riding this motorcycle I have a lot of things to tell, and I'll make it as concise as possible, and let's come to a decision like whether this 250 will suit your needs or not. So first of all, the looks. This motorcycle actually looks very interesting, a very muscular looking motorcycle. Pulsars are always like that. The Pulsar is actually made for looks. It is always for the city commuting, and that kind of a minimal fairing but a sharp fairing designs. If you see over here, the tank fairing and all looks really nice. The 250 slightly written over there, and the front section, the headlight, in the beginning I didn't like it, and now it's like it is looking good with the DRL and the headlight. It is looking good, and the headlight throw is good, and this comes with an upside down suspension, and there we can see the 250cc engine, which is actually 2-valve compared to the other competitors, and we have a small exhaust. This exhaust sounds good. Sounds really good, and from the tail section also this looks good. Altogether I'll say that it's a good looking motorcycle, like a good looking motorcycle when you look from outside, and a good looking motorcycle when you sit on the motorcycle as well. So when I sit on the motorcycle, it's not a tall motorcycle, and I didn't had any ground clearance issues until now. And this is a typical Pulsar view, this kind of a tang, and the Pulsar written over here, and the kind of handlebar. It looks like a lot of twisted handlebar. You see that there are a lot of twists on the handlebar, and these mirrors are actually good. I like it. The mirrors are giving good visibility, and this dial is actually unique and new. And also we can pair our mobile phone in this with the Bajaj app, and after that we can use turn-by-turn navigation and all. And to walk you through all the switches on the handlebar, first of all we have the high beam and the low beam over here, and there is an M button here, which is actually not a button. We cannot press it, but this is the button, which is the mode selector. By the way, this comes with riding modes, and this is indicator, and this is horn. And here we have the engine kill switch, the headlight switch, and the ignition. So once I turn on the key, the things which we see over here is the gear booster indicator, the tachometer, the speedometer, the odometer, 2 trip meters, and there are 3 riding modes, as I said: road, rain, and off-road. So off-road will disengage the ABS, and the rain has more sensitivity of ABS, and the power is a little down, and the road has the full power, and the ABS intervention is not that much. And we can see the time over here, and once we press this button, then it goes through the settings. So the dial is actually updated. That is one major update on this motorcycle. The second major update on this motorcycle is the USGs. So this is the outlook of the motorcycle. Now let's get deep into the review. Yeah, I hope you saw how this motorcycle is actually picking from that 0 to 100. So in my opinion, I'll say that this doesn't really feel like a 250cc motorcycle. Yeah, of course it's a 250cc with a 2-valve, and you know, I've been riding the CBR 250R for a very long time, and I've ridden the Duke 250s, I've ridden the Dominar 250. So from that kind of an angle, I'll say that this 250cc is one of the slowest 250 that I've ridden. I'm not saying that this engine is bad, but this engine is not as punchy as a 250 has to be. It's almost like a 150cc motorcycle. So my comfortable speed on the motorcycle is like 80 to 90. The top which I've done is like 133, and after 110, actually the motorcycle get into a little unstable state where the engine actually cries out loud, and there are wobbling issues. So in that manner, I'll say that this is as good as a 150cc motorcycle, or a little better. This is what I feel. And the dash actually shows 12k RPM as the top RPM, but at 9k RPM itself, the engine is actually cutting down. So that's the rev limiter. And also the motorcycle is comfortable to be ridden at a 4k to 5k rpm. For 6k, the motorcycle will start vibrating a lot in every gear, and as I said, it's a 5-speed gearbox, not a 6-speed gearbox, but there is no heating issues as well. So altogether, this is pointing to a good city riding motorcycle. So definitely when we think about a 250cc motorcycle, it should be an all-round motorcycle, either a stunt motorcycle or a touring motorcycle and a better road riding motorcycle. So in that sense, I'll say that this is a good city riding motorcycle from the engine point of view. And I really love the clutch feel on this motorcycle. It is very lighter, very nice to use, and also the gear shifting is good, very precise. There are no false neutrals. And talking about the braking is also good. I love it. It's very gradual. The brakes are able to control the motorcycle from any speeds. And when it comes to suspension, this comes with a USD fork. So basically the suspension is tuned for a little harder riding setup. You can feel it from my voice. It is little onto a stiffer riding setup, but the thing is, it is more confident over the corners. But the downside is the tires are not at all providing enough confidence for the corner. So the tires are like really bad. I didn't find it confident after the 110 km/h. Bike was literally wobbling. At 110, actually the bike actually vibrates a lot, and after that the wobbling thing also. So it's not to suggest to ride above 110 and 120 with the stock tires. So yes, I was talking about the suspension. The suspension is little to a harder setup, but the thing is, I can feel that there is a cone set hit. So I feel that there will be some cone set issues if you are using this motorcycle like continuously over humps and going through bad patch of road. And the riding posture is actually good. So it's almost upright. It's not fully upright. This is the fully upright riding stance. There's a little bit of sportiness to the upper body, and the foot peg is actually under the rider, so that gives a sportier riding stance. So altogether is that Pulsar riding stance which is a bit sportier. And the seats are comfortable. Actually, you can ride on this motorcycle comfortably for around 1 hour. So the seat space is also good for the rider as well as the pillion, and riding around is also good. It's very light motorcycle to ride, not at all a task. And coming on to the ownership part, this actually comes on road for 1.99 lakh, which is actually very value for money. So if you're thinking of a 250cc motorcycle, this is a value for money. If you're thinking of a 150cc motorcycle, still this is a value for money. There's one reason Pulsar actually sells out good, because it strikes that VFM a lot. And service intervals are like first service in 500 kilometers, and after that once in 5,000 kilometers, and it'll cost you something like 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. This 3,000 to 4,000 is a little onto a higher side, since it is Bajaj. I'm saying it's a little onto a higher side, but the spare parts and all those things are like not at all an issue if you're going to own this motorcycle, because the Pulsar series was there for a very long time, and you won't face any spare part issue. And the mileage is something which has amazed me on this motorcycle. Oh, by the way, there is a USB port over here. I forgot to mention that. So the mileage which I'm getting is something above 35 km per liter. So as per company, this will return 40 km per liter, but you can expect something like 30 to 40 km per liter. If I'm getting 35, then definitely you will be getting something close to 40 km per liter, because I'm little harder on the throttle, and the throttle response is actually good. Typical Pulsar, you can see that. But the thing is, you know, as I said, I've been riding 250s for a very long time, and I cannot admit the fact that this is a 250cc motorcycle. So let's come to the verdict. First question, is it a beginner friendly motorcycle? Absolutely, it's a beginner friendly motorcycle, because suppose you are a person who are actually a little scared to ride a 250cc motorcycle. Don't be ashamed to accept that, because there is a learning curve for everything, and yeah, that's how you actually develop your skills. So if you are someone who is actually a little scared to ride faster motorcycles and you wanted to own something above 200cc, then this is a better pick, because it says that it's a 250cc motorcycle, but still it's not as fast as a 250cc. And this is actually a better commuter motorcycle. I don't say that it's a better touring motorcycle and all, because if it's a touring motorcycle, then I would have expected a comfortable cruising speed of 110 km/h, and unfortunately the speed which I feel comfortable on this motorcycle is 80 to 90. So it's a better city commuter motorcycle. You can ride faster. Cornering is also not a piece of art on this motorcycle, because tires are not so good. I feel more confident to ride the NS200 than this one, because NS is a little more punchy, it is more engaging. I like it in that way. So this is a better commuter motorcycle. And we have the off-road mode on this motorcycle. Don't take it wrong, it's not an off-road going motorcycle as well. First point is, tires doesn't support you at all. Second point is, the riding posture is not like that. That off-road mode is there because if you are hitting a really bad patch of road and you don't want to get that ABS kicking all the time, then you have to switch it to the off-road mode. Otherwise, it's not an off-road going motorcycle. And all these riding modes feels like a marketing gimmick to me, because you don't really need this kind of a riding mode or a technology, because just the machine itself is more than enough. So what I'll say is, For 1.99 lakh, this is a value for money machine, a very good commuter motorcycle. So that's my review on the N250. So I hope you like this video. So if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section. If I know, definitely I'll come back to you. And as always, if this video has helped you, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.